a grain of sand in the cosmic ocean.
It was a moment frozen in time, yet it moved the world. On July 20th, 1969, an event felt impossibly grand and deeply personal. Two human beings, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, were about to do what no one had ever done before. Grainy images flickered across television sets, into living rooms, town squares, and storefronts around the globe. The world held its collective breath. A figure in a white suit descended a simple metal ladder, 238,900 miles from home. A speck of life on a silent landscape. He placed his left boot into the lunar dust. Then came the words that would echo for generations. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Perfect in simplicity, profound in truth. A single act, a monumental shift in human potential, a symbolic stride for our entire civilization. The sky was no longer the limit, it was the beginning. This is the story of Apollo 11. Ingenuity and relentless curiosity of Armstrong, Aldrin, and Michael Collins above them, and how that day rippled through science, technology, our planet, and ourselves. The Cold War, a tense standoff fought with ideology, espionage, and technology. Sputnik's beep was a wake-up call. The space race had begun. Early victories stung American prestige, fueling urgency. The nation needed a goal so bold it could galvanize a generation. On May 25, 1961, Kennedy set the challenge: land a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the decade's end. We had minutes in space, no rockets, computers, life support, barely a plan. But the declaration worked. 400,000 people mobilized. They invented materials, pioneered software, solved thousands of problems. The race to the moon was on. At its heart, three individuals. The human face of Apollo 11. Neil Armstrong, quiet professional, crisis calm, an engineer's engineer. He had already stared down disaster and won. Buzz Aldrin, Dr. Rendezvous, passionate, intense, deeply analytical. The stoic leader and the fervent expert. Michael Collins, the mission's anchor, pilot of their only ride home. For 48 minutes each orbit, he was cut off from all humanity. Three temperaments, one purpose. July 16, 1969, a sweltering Florida morning. Saturn V, 363 feet, the most powerful machine ever built. A cathedral of fuel, pipes, and raw power. At 9:32 a.m., 5 F-1s unleashed 7.6 million pounds of thrust. It hung for an eternity, then climbed with terrifying grace. A controlled explosion, crushing G's, bone-rattling vibration, 2.5 minutes to 42 miles and 6,000 miles per hour. Then, calm. A tiny capsule in an infinite ocean, carrying all of us with it. The final 12 minutes were the most perilous of the mission. A 1202 alarm, overload, but systems still good. A 26-year-old made the call, go. Autopilot aimed at a boulder field, no place to land. Armstrong took control, skimming low, eyes scanning for safety. 60 seconds, 30 seconds, the world held its breath. Contact light, the Eagle has landed. Joy, relief, history made. They prepared systems, rehearsed emergencies, then opened the hatch. A landscape of magnificent desolation. Carefully he descended and touched the surface. 650 million watched humanity arrive on the moon. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Powdery dust, charcoal soft, movement a strange, joyful dance. Aldrin joined him, and together they got to work. They deployed experiments and gathered precious rocks and soil. They documented it all, and looked homeward at a brilliant Earth. Footprints to last for millions of years. Above, Collins kept lonely vigil, guardian of the lifeboat. He tracked, managed trajectory, rehearsed contingencies. Eagle rose, a delicate dance ended in a flawless docking. They were three again, ready for the long fall home. They saw one interconnected world, the overview effect. Images that sparked a new care for our small precious home. They splashed down, scorched but safe, and were recovered at sea. Quarantine first, then celebrations around the world. Apollo's rocks rewrote planetary science and our solar timeline. The push for smaller, lighter, reliable systems accelerated computing. Fuel cells, fire-safe fabrics, medical imaging, freeze-dried food, spin-offs everywhere. A massive R&D surge paid dividends across the economy. But the deepest legacy is inspiration. It proved what curiosity, courage, and collaboration can do. When we channel ambition, intelligence, and resources, we rise. It lit a fire in future explorers, scientists, and creators. Today, Artemis aims for a sustained lunar presence. Private companies chart ambitious paths of their own. Our gaze lifts toward the red plains of Mars. The journey Apollo 11 began is not over. It asks us to keep looking up, to keep asking questions, and to never stop reaching for the next frontier. The echo of that one small step is a call to action, a challenge for each of us to take our own giant leaps. Because when we dare greatly, we go farther. Together. Keep exploring.